Good day, students. How are you today? I hope you're doing fine. Okay, and for today's lesson, I am going to tackle about the rules and competencies of school heads. But I will be focusing on the competencies for school heads as contained in the National Competency-Based Standards from school heads. But before I will proceed to the lesson, I will let you know the learning objectives in this lesson. At the end of this chapter, you are expected to describe the rules of school heads and its expected competencies. Discuss the competencies expected of school heads as contained in competency frameworks in Philippines and Southeast Asia. And apply the integrated domains with the competency strand for school heads. Pursuant to Republic Act No. 9155, otherwise known as Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, and its implementing rules and regulation stated in Rule No. 6 that the school head shall form an instructional leader and administrative manager. School achievement greatly affects to the plans and actions undertaken by the school head. The school head has an authority, accountability, and responsibility to lead the national educational policies, plans, and standards. Since the principal leads the school, he is empowered and has an authority to make decisions that would result in the achievement of instructional goals. It also means that he was going to be accountable for all the school level. The role of school head is not an easy task. Therefore, the DepEd must schedule on the different leadership trainings to school heads to ensure that they will be fully functional to their duties and responsibilities, and more so, to enhance their school instructional supervision and monitoring skills. Many teachers could be thinking and wondering why they are only the subject of national competency standards while their immediate superiors, the school heads, are not. But it is not actually the case for like the teacher who are considered as the heart of the school system. School heads too will be under a national competency standards as stated in the Ed Order number 32 since 2010. The following are the principles which guided the framing of the national competency-based standards from school heads. First is function-based. The competencies are based on school head functions as stated in Republic Act 9155, related laws and policies. Second, responsive. Competencies are applicable in any range of contexts. Big or small school, city or rural school, or culturally divergent groups. Third, impartial. These are applicable to any school heads regardless of position, item, gender, age, experience, and other personal circumstances. Fourth, coherent. These are clear and logical. Lastly, valid. All performance indicators are research-based and experience-based. Now, let's proceed the core principle and these competencies. School heads are competent, committed, and accountable in providing access to quality and relevant education for all through transformational leadership and high degree of professionalism. Next is the domains and competency strands. The competencies identified for the school heads are classified into 7 domains for school leadership and management. Let us take a look at the schematic presentation of the integrated domains with the competency strands under each domain as contained in the National Competency-Based Standards for School Heads. Okay. I am so sorry about the photo that I present to you because I took screenshot on it. That's why It's blurred. I am very sorry for that. But anyway, don't worry. I will be discuss each domain later on. Domain 1, School Leadership. The corresponding competency strands are the following. Developing and communicating vision, mission, goals, and objectives. It means communicates the school VMGO clearly. Second, database strategic planning. Third, problem solving. It means resolve problems at the school level. Fourth, building high performance teams. It means set high expectations and challenging goals. Next is coordinating with others. It means collaborate with concerned staff to planning and implementing of programs. Lastly is the leading and managing teams. It means maintains an open, positive, and encouraging attitude toward change. To sum it all, effective leadership is the core of every successful school. This domain emphasizes that effective school leaders collaborate, create a vision, and establish a climate for teachers, non-teaching personnel, and learners to reach their highest level of achievements. Domain 2, Instructional Leadership. The corresponding competency strands are the following. Assessment for learning. It means manage the processes and procedure in monitoring student achievement. Second, developing programs and for adopting existing programs. It means develop or adopt a research-based school program. Third, implementing programs for instructional improvement. It means manage the introduction of curriculum initiatives in time with DepEd policies. Lastly, instructional supervision. It means prepares and implements an instructional supervisory plan. To sum it all, education reforms have created an urgent need for strong emphasis on the development of instructional leadership skills. These domains covers this action in instructional leadership. Assessment for learning, development and implementation, instructional supervision, and technical assistance that school heads take or delegate to others to promote good teaching and high-level learning among pupils and students. Domain 3, Creating Student-Centered Learning Climate. The competency strands, setting high social and academic expectations. Second, creating school environment focused on the needs of the learner. To sum it all, the domain requires that effective school leaders set high standards and create high expectations for learners at the same time recognizing their achievement. Domain 4, HR Management and Professional Development. The corresponding competency strands are the following. Creating a professional learning community, recruitment and hiring. Lastly, managing performance of teachers and staff. To sum it all, effective school leaders develop the skills and talents of those around them. These domains includes the nurturing and supporting of a learning community that recruits teachers based on NCBTS and promotes the continuous growth and development of personnel based on IPPD and SSPD. And now let's proceed to Domain 5, Parent Involvement and Community Partnership. The corresponding competency strands are the following. Parental involvement. It means establishes school and family partnership that promotes student peak performance. Second, External community partnership. It means promotes the image of the school through social summit, state of the school address or SUSA, cultural shows, and etc. To sum it all, effective school leaders or heads engage in shared decision making with the community in achieving universal participation, completion, and functional literacy. This domain covers parent and other stakeholders' involvement to raise learners' performance. Domain 6. School management and daily operation. The corresponding competency strands are the following: managing school operation. Second, fiscal management. It means prepares a financial management plan. Third, use of technology and the management of operations. It means uses information technology to facilitate the operationalization of the school management system. To sum it all, these domains covers the critical role school heads play in managing the implementation and monitoring of their school's improvement plan or annual implementation plan. Domain number 7. Personal and professional attributes and interpersonal effectiveness. The corresponding competency strands are the following. Professionalism means maintain harmonious relation with superiors, colleagues, subordinates, learners, parents, and other stakeholders. Next is communication. It means communicate effectively to staff and other stakeholders in both oral and written forms. Third, interpersonal sensitivity. It means interacts appropriately with a variety of audiences. Fourth, fairness, honesty, and integrity. It means demonstrate integrity, honesty, and fairness of his or her dealings and transactions. To sum it all, effective school leaders are models of professionalism and ethical moral leadership. These domains include the development of pride and the nobility of the teaching profession. Thus, these national competency standards too will ensure the continuing flow of dedicated and passionate applicants to the school heads position and not those wishy-washy types whose primary and common agenda is to have higher pay, prestige, and easy works as formerly perceived by many of a school head position. Notice that there are competencies expected of school heads as instructional leaders and as administrative leaders. The instructional leadership focuses on Domain 2 and Domain 3. Related to administrative leadership are Domain 1, Domain 6, Domain 4, and Domain 5. Domain 7 can relate to both instructional leadership and administrative leadership since this has something to do as teachers' personhood which cannot detach from teachers' says and does.
Competency Framework. As a member of Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN, let's also take a look the competencies of school heads for Southeast Asia. The domain stakeholders engagement or SA competency. So it divides into 3 columns. So competency, enabling competency, indicators. So first, the competency, promoting shared responsibility for school improvement. Enabling competency 1.1. Build trust and leads team or communities for school improvement. So, indicators 1.1.1, understand the school community within the social political context of the broader community. 1.1.2, set expectation, roles, or responsibilities of the school and community in providing quality education. 1.1.3, create synergy among present and community members to support school in activities. 1.1.4, conduct regular social cultural events involving school stakeholders. 1.1.5, instill a sense of ownership of school programs and projects. So 1.1.6, engage stakeholders in school governance structure. 1.2.1, provide opportunity for parents and community members for knowledge sharing. 1.2.2, engage stakeholders in planning and complementing school programs project. 1.2.3, influence stakeholders to invest and share the cost for improving learning outcomes. 1.2.4, provide visible and proactive support to sustain the school community based in activity.
Spending way too long checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer, but my breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I'll be saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need here to complicate, 'cause our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours.
Instructional leadership, generally defined as the management of curriculum and instruction by a school principal. This term appeared as a result of research associated with the effective school movement of the 1980s, which revealed that the key to running successful schools lies in the principal's role. Instructional leadership encompasses those actions that a principal takes or delegates to others to promote growth and student learning. It comprises the following tasks. First, defining the purpose of schooling. Setting school-wide goals and providing resources needed for learning to occur. March 1992 defines instructional leadership as something specific to a principal. It refers to anything that school leaders do to improve teaching and learning in the school. It focuses on learning and its promotion. This is the reason why instructional leaders are also called learning leaders. Administrative leadership is about orchestrating tasks and often includes mobilizing people to develop and sustain an early childhood organization. Successful administrative leaders are able to establish systems that protect and sustain essential operational functions to meet the needs of the children and the mother. Administrative leadership is the key role in the practice of innovation. David McLean, for example, posited that leadership takes a strong personality with a well-developed positive ego. An examination of the 9-factor full range of leadership. Therefore, the roles and competencies of school heads, achievements and competencies for school heads in Southeast Asia is setting mission, vision, goals, and objectives of the school, creating an environment within the school that is conducive to teaching and learning, implementing the school curriculum, and be accountable for higher learning outcomes. That's all. Thank you.